to me, they're the favorite because of this team. It's loaded. And honestly, Brady, why can't he win 8?
Well, listen,
Woody, talk your ish, Mr. Patriot,
think
Mr. Super Bowl champ.
don't worry, don't worry about that. I'm gonna talk it all right. I'm gonna talk it because I was with the Patriots when they won in 2001 and in 2003. Let me tell you something. Tom Brady, to me, there's one thing that could get in the way, and that's obviously injuries because football is a contact sport. But if you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I mean, guys, they got a lot of really good things going for them. They were returning all 22 starters on both offense and defense. That is, when you're talking about a team coming off of the Super Bowl, that is extremely rare that you got everyone coming back for the following year. So they have that going for them. But I will say this. The road to repeating is extremely hard because, like Coach Belichick used to tell us, every team, every year is different. You can't count on the things that happened last year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to replicate themselves this year. And what I will tell you is that in 2002, when I was with the New England Patriots, we missed the playoffs. Why? Because, number one, things didn't break our way like they usually do in a Super Bowl run, but also the way your opponents play you after Super Bowl is much different because they view you as a Super Bowl champ. The way you look at them on film and the way they come out and play you is totally different. These teams this year are going to play the Tampa Bay Bucs totally different. It's going to be extremely difficult, but if there's anyone that can do it, it's definitely Tom Brady.
You know what's wild? I should have known better, okay? I played fantasy football for the first time this year. I had the Tampa Bay defense, which really helped propel them to the Super Bowl. I should have known better in my pick because then I'd be Charly instead of myself and Kimberley trying to rub it in.
Not everybody can be Charly, Chiney. You know this.
You're right.
One and
You're
only.
Right. This is true. But my favorite bite-sized human being. We love you. But it's crazy. And Woody, you talked about it because I think the pathway just seems so there, so readily available for Tom. I mean, you mentioned returning all 22 starters on offense and defense, that defense that I loved that appeared in the Super Bowl. And that's a first, by the way, in the NFL salary cap era. That tells you that Tom Brady really has that juice, that magic. And you even look at the NFC, the way things are shaping up. It's crazy that the Packers, it's crazy that the Seahawks, who have not shown their QBs enough love, sort of creating that angst that you don't want if you want to be able to take down Tom Brady and the Bucs. Like you've got Matt Stafford getting onboarded with the Rams. It's crazy that the NFC is sort of built for them to use their cohesion that they mastered in year one and run it back. But like you said, I mean, time, it just seems like when we talk about time and athletes, we're at the perfect intersection where science and advances. We have the TB12, the TB way, which is nuts for Tom Brady to sort of patent his own pathway that has helped him the same way LeBron James does it. It works to their advantage. So like you said, Woody, I think history, people do play you differently. I mean, I would love to say that I've won a championship. That's a goal for this coming year. But once you find success in the professional ranks, people sort of key in on that. People really key in on that, especially we know this through rookie seasons. Rookie seasons are great, and then the next year you adjust to the league. It happens for the champions as well.
Yeah, Damien, you mentioned everybody plays different. But the great thing about the Bucs is this was like a slow build. No off season together, no real time. That chemistry, it took some weeks for them to figure out this offense. Last year, if you remember, we were on TV like, what's going on with the Bucs? Like, what is Bruce Arians doing with Tom Brady? Just sit Tom Brady right there and say, do whatever you want. And what happened? In the second half of the season, they took off, and then Todd Bowles' defense took over in the NFC Championship game and in the Super Bowl. But guys, if you're the Bucs right now, and you're looking at the NFC South, the Panthers, they just got Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater. What's going on with the Saints? Breeze isn't there. The Falcons, they got Matty Ice, true, but out of that division, to me, the Bucs are the favorite. Chiney touched on the Rams situation. Touched on Seattle, Aaron Rodgers, a lot of unhappy QBs. So I feel pretty good if I was Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and listen, as they should, Kimberly, because the one, when you're talking about the teams that usually have success, one factor is continuity. And that's what the Bucs are going to have. From top to bottom, they're going to have as much continuity as any other team in the National Football League. Again, they're going to have 22 starters back on that football team. So not only that, but the fact that now they head into an offseason where we're going to have OTAs, we're going to have minicamp, training camp. They didn't have that last year, and they were able to build their way to ultimately winning a Super Bowl. Now they get that. They get an actual offseason to really build on the chemistry that they had last year. So this should be a great sign, a great thing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.